Hi, so my name is actually Clémentine. And so I'm sure my accent gave it away already. I am not from the States. I was actually born and raised in the French Alps where I studied chemistry. And I always dreamed of being a world-class chemist, so I decided to come to the States and I got offered a position at the Scripps Research Institutes. So I was really living my dream there, working with those very famous and amazing scientists. And then my career kind of took a shift. My career shifted when my very sexy American boyfriend knelt down at the airport next to the trash can and proposed. I was told by my friends, my colleagues, my PI, dude, you can't move to Boise, Idaho. Like, it's just a death sentence for your career. But I think they were wrong. So I'm really honored to be here today and to tell you about Facible and our revolutionary technology, QLAD. QLAD, our mission is really to provide this hospital-grade diagnostic in a point-of-care setting for everyone. And I think it's pretty important for everyone to have access to this very high-quality diagnostic. It was highlighted during this current pandemic. For example, all those technology that we are currently using, and I'm saying currently, I'm talking about technology that have been used for the past, 25, maybe 30 years, but those techniques, they have limitation. For example, qPCR. qPCR is the gold standard. It's incredible, and it is very, very, very sensitive. Sometimes, in some instances, a little bit too sensitive. But the problem here is that PCR really belongs in the lab. It's really hard to adapt this technology to a point-of-care setting. Then you have isothermal amplification, a little bit of an easier workflow for sure, but once again, it's really where it can be used in the point-of-care. Antigenic test, easy to use, right? You can do that at home. They are pretty basic, but in that case, they are not so sensitive anymore, unfortunately. So now, please let me introduce you to QLAD. QLAD provides the diagnostic industry without sacrificing speed, ease of use, or accuracy. The chemistry behind QLAD can provide with results about 5 minutes typically, and QLAD is really as easy to use as it is accurate. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more how it works. So you can really picture QLAD as a DNA transistor or maybe like an intelligent oligonucleotide. It has 2 binding pockets and a logic gate in the middle. And so the first pocket will be able to recognize and to bind specifically to our desired target. And that will send a signal to the second binding pocket and induce a conformational change. Now, the second pocket can bind to a reporter molecule. And in our case, this reporter molecule can emit fluorescence. And so really, this introduction of the AND gate to our technology provides us with a very high specificity. And that was proven during the characterization of our SARS-CoV-2 assay. We actually submitted it to the FDA under the EUA, and we are currently working together with them in order to get it authorized and out in the markets. Our test has proven to show exactly 97% sensitivity, and that was done over the full range of PCR. And our specificity was 100%. On top of that, the limit of detection of our assay is comparable with qPCR and is as good as the best ELISA assay. We also have been working in a program named RADx that has been started by the NIH, and they have been supporting us and vetting our technology since 2020. So now we have proven our technology. We are evolving it toward the most exciting tests. So for example, right now we are working in the respiratory panel. And what's really revolutionary with this 6-pathogen panel is that it will be in a point-of-care setting. So just think about it. In 5 minutes, you will be able to tell which bug has make your kid sick, for example. And what really matters here is that you will have access to this hospital-grade diagnostic without having to go to the hospital anymore, which is great when you have kids. A second iteration will be the addition of 15 orthopathogens to our assay. Those ones will be a little bit more rare. And again, what really we want to do is to bring this hospital-grade diagnostic to everyone. That means that we want this analyzer to be available at your pharmacies or clinics or even at your doctor's office. Another evolution will be what we call stratification. So what that means is that we are going to develop our probes to bind to a very specific part of the pathogen, because then we really want to tell from which strain it is. So for example, instead of just being diagnosed with flu A or flu B, we'll be able to tell you it's H1N1. And that really matters because we're going to be able to generate this enormous amount of data, and that will obviously have a very high financial interest, but what really matters is that it will be used in research to make therapy, vaccine, or even mutation-driven survey much better. Just think about it for flu, for example, like if we can map and picture which strain is infecting which part of the states or even of the world, we'll be able to fit that in a new model and able to generate a much better vaccine than what is currently available. There is over 400 million people every year that get diagnosed with one of those 6 respiratory pathogens. That means that there is about 4 to 5 times more people that actually take the test, right? So the market is just gigantic. But here what I want to tell you is that there is just no reason why our technology should be applied only to human health. It could be applied to plant diagnostic, human health, environmental diagnostic, anything. And if you combine all of those verticals together, it gets a market as big as about $400 billion a year. So in order to get our technology available for everyone, we are raising money. And we are utilizing this regulation A+ that you probably have heard a few times today and the day before. And what it really allows us to do is to sell those private security in a public offering. And that not only to accredited and institutional investors, but also to retail investors. And there was really 2 reasons why we chose this strategy for our Series A fundraising. And the first one is that we just really want to raise this money rapidly, because what matters to us is to get our product out of the market as soon as we can. And the second reason is, I think we really like the idea that anybody, investors or not, and from the US or from France or from anywhere, can actually be part of our diagnostic revolution. And seriously, don't you think that this will look pretty cool next to, or maybe instead of your Alexa one day in your own house? Thank you so much.